a political action committee, a PAC called Women's March Win, has started running these ads in places where Trump's immigration agents are doing these big showy operations. They've run them in places like Chicago, also in Charlotte, North Carolina. But it's interesting, this ad, I'm going to show it to you in a second. These ads are not targeting the public or even elected officials in these places. They're running these in places where Trump's immigration agents are being surged because they want the immigration agents themselves to see them. Watch.
You will be caught. You will be removed, and you will never return.
Well, video to a monitor shows the moment ICE agents
Daddy, how's your day?
A mask can't hide you from your neighbors, your children, and God. They'll know. You can walk away before the shame follows you home.
Daddy, how's your day?
I mentioned those ads are running in places where Trump's immigration agents are being deployed in large numbers, places like Chicago and Charlotte, North Carolina. They've also run those ads on TV in West Palm Beach, Florida. I guess on the unlikely chance that somebody with an itchy conscience might be watching there as well. Recently here on the show, we reported on a scrappy, beautiful little community on the coast of Oregon, a town called Newport, Oregon, which is a Dungeness crab fishing town. The Trump administration apparently wants to put some kind of immigration prison in that town. The Trump administration also took away from that town the Coast Guard rescue helicopter there. There'd been a Coast Guard rescue helicopter stationed in Newport, Oregon, because of the Dungeness crab fleet, because of the extremely risky, extremely dangerous work of that fishing fleet there. The Newport, Oregon Coast Guard rescue helicopter has rescued more than 500 people in the past 10 years. And then the Trump administration, with no notice, with no local consultation at all, they took it away. So we reported here recently on locals in that town protesting against the removal of that rescue helicopter and protesting against the Trump administration's apparent effort to put some kind of ICE prison in that town. One Texas contractor that had been seeking land in the town near the airport, presumably for the immigration prison, that contractor pulled out and dropped their request to the town as soon as the locals started to protest. Well, now the town of Newport has got their helicopter back as well. Local protests, huge local turnout at town halls and local government meetings, both Oregon U.S. senators getting involved, a lawsuit brought by the locals that was then joined by the state. They, as of now, have their rescue helicopter back, just in time for the start of the crab season. The local state rep in that town told us today that he and a local fishermen's wives group were told by the Trump administration that they'd taken the rescue helicopter away in the first place because of personnel issues, staffing shortages. The Trump administration then reportedly told a different story to the state's U.S. senators, telling them, no, it's not staffing shortages or personnel issues. They told the senators it was a maintenance issue for the helicopter for some reason. But then, wouldn't you know it, once the Trump administration got dragged into court by these locals who sued them, the Trump administration had to admit under oath in court, yes, actually, they moved the rescue helicopter, the Coast Guard rescue helicopter, out of Newport, Oregon, because the Coast Guard was told to send a helicopter down to San Diego to fly around the Mexican border and look for immigrants. That was the story. The comprehensive freaking uproar in that town has got them their Coast Guard rescue helicopter back, and so far it means no immigration prison is going up in that town either. Sometimes when you fight, you win. Tonight we're going to be talking to the app developer who made the app IceBlock app. Remember this one? We talked about this on the show as well. The IceBlock app is an app for your phone. It helped people report to their neighbors when they saw Trump's immigration agents operating in their neighborhood. The Trump administration went to Apple, the literally multi-trillion-dollar company, Apple. The Trump administration went to Apple and told Apple that they needed to take the IceBlock app out of the App Store. And Apple caved immediately. Did it. They took the app down. They responded like they were some little pushover, scared operation that only wants to please the big bad bully because they have no choice. Apple did not stand up for itself. But the IceBlock guy, the guy who made the app, he is standing up. He told us when this happened, he told us here on this show that he had a plan to fight this, even if Apple wouldn't fight it. Well, now today he has put that plan into place. He has put that plan into effect. He's going to join us live here tonight. You are going to want to see that. Tonight, we're also going to talk with a former director of the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. He's sounding the alarm that with the Trump administration having now pretty well decimated the CDC and really broken what is supposed to be our public health safety net as a country, he is sounding the alarm that we're going to need to approach those challenges some other way, that we're going to need to do something else as a country to make up for what is now a broken, decimated, ruined CDC. Because sometimes you fight to protect someone or protect something. Sometimes you have to fight to build something new, to take the place of part of our government, part of our country that these guys have destroyed. The Trump administration right now seems to be at a weak ebb. They at least seem to be flailing in all sorts of interesting ways. Today, you might have seen Alina Habba had to resign. Trump has appointed a bunch of more or less wildly unqualified U.S. attorneys, top federal prosecutors in multiple states. These are people who are such insanely inappropriate choices for these jobs. They apparently can't be confirmed even by the same Senate that confirmed Pete Hegseth. Like, that's so low a bar, you can't limbo under it if you had 3 sets of knees. I mean, Trump has nevertheless tried to keep these wildly, wildly unqualified U.S. attorney picks in these jobs beyond the limits of the law, because they can't stay there indefinitely if they can't be confirmed by the Senate. Multiple courts have now told Trump that he can't do that, that these people are not serving legally. Today, after stomping and huffing about it for a while today, Alina Habba in New Jersey had to resign as U.S. attorney. The others who were appointed in circumstances similar to hers will likely have to resign as well. It's just a matter of when. One of the things Trump has used these bogus U.S. attorneys to do, particularly in the Eastern District of Virginia, is he's used these folks to bring federal charges against people he sees as his political enemies. Like, for example, New York State Attorney General Tish James, who Trump demanded should be charged with mortgage fraud for the way she filled out her mortgage paperwork. Remember that? Well, not only was that indictment against Tish James thrown out because Trump didn't properly appoint the U.S. attorney who brought that case, then a few days ago, Trump's Justice Department tried to bring the indictment against Tish James all over again under a new prosecutor. A grand jury told them to take a hike, refused to indict Tish James when they went back to a grand jury and asked them to do it again. And now today, ProPublica reports that if Trump really wants Tish James to be charged with mortgage fraud for this particular paperwork issue he sees in her mortgage paperwork, well, he should probably check his own files, because Trump's own mortgage paperwork from his own mortgages in Florida turns out to be filled out exactly the same way that Tish James's paperwork was filled out. Oops. Oops. Maybe he will turn himself in to be prosecuted. Americans are fighting against this administration in all sorts of interesting ways, and this president appears as weak and unpopular as he has ever been in all of his time in public life. You're seeing that combination of his weakness and Americans' appetite to fight him. You're seeing it in, frankly, every court except the United States Supreme Court. You're seeing it increasingly now even in the Congress. You're seeing it at the black site prison gates amid the Presbyterian church ladies who have never protested anything before, but where they're now holding a blue Christmas service now at the gates of the prison for the people locked up inside.